Hello and welcome to my webinar. My name is Alexander Luria and I am a gamer for 24 years. I am a son, I am a father, I am a husband, and today masterclass I'm going to present three topics. Um, in the first one is how to crush your digital enemies, how to leverage on failure, and how to reboot your parental role model. Well, in the end, I will gonna ask you to vote with your credit cards if you thought this masterclass made sense. I would like you always to mute and hold your questions to the end in the Q&A section. So, I would like to guess why are you here today? Probably you have a journey that you want to embark in this year or maybe in the next years to come because your kids are playing video game relentlessly. So you always look at them and you're probably not connecting well, you're fighting over it, but what you would like to do is to have a great connection and maybe take the video games as a cornerstone in your relationships. So how are we going to crush our digital enemies? Well, I'm gonna tell you a story. My mom and I had this great relationship and we always do stuff together, but once I got my first computer and started playing video games, there was always constant point of dispute. What are you doing? You're wasting your time. The computer will not get you anywhere. And we always fight about it. So the story goes on and 10 years, 15 years pass and my mom now has to manage the computer. But she doesn't know how because she developed over the years a phobia of the computer. So she comes to me and says, I know you're good with the computer and I want to do this interactive thing in my classroom. So I would like you to teach me. So we start these sessions and she gave me probably all the excuses possible why not to proceed and finish the course that I started. But when we fought through the resistance and she finally got through all the PowerPoint lessons and the Word and the internet, since then we have this great connection over the computer. So from phobia and trying to convince me to get off the video games to great connection over the computer. So that story also had another element in it. We had to fail 1,000 times in the lessons. My mom would take the simple task of creating a folder on the computer and would just say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm stopping. But I told her, you must do it. You must fail to succeed. So at the first, the movements were kind of awkward, but as time passed by, she flew through it. So as our kids on the video games, they're developing themselves. They're doing this great learning experience because every game has a puzzle. Every game has a challenge, a strategy to win. They need to interact. They need to be a team player. They need to understand physics of the world. They need to understand basic economy of the game, how they buy one resource and turn it into a tool or maybe a fort in case of Fortnite, right? So they also fail again and again because each time they start a match, they don't come victorious, but they do not resign. They fail forward. So I was brought up in the 80s and 90s where playing computer games for a really long time would be considered an addiction, a harmful addiction, something that should be avoided, something that needs to be remedied. And the same mentality still possesses the common collective mind, because playing video games still considered a taboo. But in light of recent development in technology of the internet and popularization of games between the millennials and also the people that were brought after the year 2000, almost 90% of the kids that born 2000 and up till now, 90% of them play video games. So now you're not a weirdo. Now you're competing with your friends in the class who get the best score, who does best, but we still think that they should be playing soccer 5 hours a day, or they should be playing tennis 5 hours a day. And that's considered normal to get better at stuff, but they still have to be traditional. But if you play video games for 5 hours and trying to be better at it and trying to accept yourself to some esport team, that would be considered abnormal as an addiction. So what we should and could do is try to play the video games with them. Would you say, but it's an addiction, I don't like it, I don't know, I feel I'm not of that world? Well, the children, first of all, are happy to help you. And if you go to them and ask them to teach you their favorite game, they will be more than happy. They finally will be lit in their eyes and have fire in their heart that the parent is finally getting them. They finally understand them. They finally have a common interest. They finally have a common hobby. And the children finally can help their parents because the parents were the ones that provided them all the help all their years, and now they can actually provide value back to their parents. So I want you to go to your children and treat them seriously. Ask them what are they doing, what lessons are they learning in the games, in every match, and how do they interact with people. So this is the story now. I'd like to tell you a small anecdote about esport and video games. Esport and video games are now the biggest and the fastest growing industry in the sports network. Even the ESPN is now broadcasting live events, stadiums filled with people that watch other people play video games. And just to give you a taste, in the year 2017, the revenue from video games worldwide was $110 billion. So individually, it surpasses Hollywood and basketball and soccer and almost every other sport that is traditionally played. And just this month, there was an indie competition for indie gamers that the first prize was $250,000. And the latest League of Legends game, the prize money for all the teams was $25 million. So what I'm offering you today here is a program. How do we get kids that play today games, make them the superheroes of tomorrow esports? How do we become their role models because we are interacting with them and playing with them the games? So this course would have 6 stages. The first 3 stages we've seen today is how to crush your digital enemies. How do we get on the platform with the kids? How we tweak their performance? How do we leverage on failure? How do we handle physical and mental health? And how do we finally reboot our parenting role model? Now, how much would it cost you? I will say not even a steak meal. I'm going to offer this product for $27 instead of $99 that it costs in a regular day. If you order now in this webinar, I have a discount for you. For just the time of the webinar, it will going to cost you only $27. Maybe tomorrow You will forget that steak meal, but this course could change your child life and your life as a whole. For now, we are going to offer you a trial program. If you don't like the course, after 4 weeks, you can get your money back. 30 days money back guarantee. If you don't like it, you can ask your money back. I would also like to tell you that we have only 5 spots left for this webinar, and the places are closing out fast. So this is the link now. I'm putting it in the chat for you to get your place secured. Okay, so if you order now, yes, a thumbs up if you think you're okay, right? If I'm making sense. So if you order now, I would also include a bonus. Everybody loves the bonus, right? I'm gonna give you a private call and we're gonna talk about your specific problems. We're gonna address your issues and we're gonna talk face to face. How that sounds? Sounds okay? So we're gonna start Q&A now, and I see there's a lot of people on the call. I think we're gonna start with Yassine. You seem very passionate about the call. How would you? Why did you?
I'm so honored you
today?
chose me. Thank you for choosing me out of everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. What did you ask me?
Why did you log in today?
You private messaged me, and you know, I have a lot of kids. I can't even count. I've lost count, but I have at least 13 children, and they all play video games.
Yes.
And
Do you berate them or you congratulate
yeah,
them for that?
yeah.
Like
No, I mean,
crazy
I
on
think
Fortnite, right?
I'm trying to change, but you know, I was brought up to go out and eat mud and play in trees, and so sometimes I want to hit them with the wooden spoon. But I
Yeah,
think,
it's okay. It's okay. You
yeah,
can play in the mud. It's okay.
yeah,
It's what I'm talking about in module 5. You have to have
mm,
another physical activities except because burnout even in esports is real.
yeah. But what one question I do have is, I want to feel like the things that they do teach them life lessons and make them better people. So, and if I'm encouraging them and also doing it myself, I want to know that that's what it's doing for them. So do you think that that's what it will do for them, that they'll better
Well,
themselves by playing video
they
games?
are doing it already. Let's say they're logging in to some random match at Fortnite, and there's
Mm.
people, one from Iran and one from USA and one from Turkey and one from, let's say, Germany, and they all play together. They all play team. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care about the politics and they don't meet each other, but they have this real human connection. They talk
Yeah.
to each other, they interact, they work as a team. So it makes them better person. They learn how to solve. They learn to work under pressure. It's all good. It's like the traditional sport. Whatever you think of traditional sports,
Mm.
it's on the computer now.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great. But another question: um, what were the three things that we were supposed to talk about today?
So today we talk about 3 things. How do we
Mm-hmm.
crush our digital enemies? So
Yeah.
how do we stop afraid of the computer and actually talk to our children and have
Mm-hmm.
this cornerstone to talk about it? How do we
Mm-hmm.
leverage on failure? How do we do not give up and our children do not give up because of the failure? If we failed sometimes to get on the computer and we're now afraid of it, or maybe they're failing at the match and they're afraid to play the game and just watching YouTube or watching other players just do it instead of trying it themselves. or maybe we want to reboot our parenting model, and we need to find new topics to talk to them.
Okay, great. And so, can I get this discount tomorrow?
Tomorrow you can still have discount, but the private call will not be available for tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you'd like to get on the private call, you must order in the next 20 minutes before the call ends. Oh, I see here Muhammad from Abu Dhabi just signing on the course.
Oh, that's my father.
Yes?
Yes,
Maybe.
yeah.
There's lots of Muhammads, you know. I see Nasimov. Yeah, also just joined. I'm gonna hit the gong.
Okay.
Yes.
So now only 3 spots left.
Only 3 spots left for the private call. Yes, and look, I'm gonna take this time a small group of people and take them through the 6 stages of the course, and maybe we'll change. Maybe we'll make it better. But now is the first of its kind course. Well, it's not that we're gonna teach the children how to be gamers. We're teaching the parents to be a parent of a gamer.
Yeah.
So
okay, it sounds good.
How do we go to the next decade, right? Because in 2020, there's going to be Olympics in China, and they are considering to get the esports as a part of it, like true story.
Okay.
So thank you. I have another call. I'm need to hang up this masterclass because I'm starting another one in 5 minutes. So if you order now for $27, you would be able to get the private call also. Thank you, Yasin, and
thank you.
Say hi to all your 13 children, to Muhammad and Hamudi and Ayash and Yasser and I don't know. Nusa, Muhammad, Hamdi,
Mohammed Hamdi,
and Samech and Salah. Thank you.
Thank you.